Hello everyone and welcome to Grand State Wrestling Shotgun. And well, if you recognize my voice, I'm Derek from Damn Defiant Wrestling, and we are kicking things off right away as we've got a singles match for you here right now between Super Crazy and the man who is jumping him from behind, and Jon Moxley, as he takes him off of Brett's rope and just power bombs him straight into the middle of the ring, and he's beating on him a little bit. Mind you, the bell has yet to ring as Moxley is just taking all of the liberties right now, and the referee finally backing him up into a corner, and we get this matchup on their way as Jon Moxley runs into the one side of the ropes and he hits Super Crazy with a lariat that turns him inside out. As Moxley lets Super Crazy get back up, he pushes him right back down to a knee and kicks him square in the ribs. As well, Moxley, he's looking to deliver a little bit more punishment as he's got Super Crazy back up to his feet, and he Irish whips him into the ropes. What is he looking for here? He was going to go for a lariat, but Super Crazy dodged it and takes him down with a head scissors Hurricane Rana, and he's got him on the outside. He jumps up to that middle rope and he jumps over and hits him with a triangle drop kick on the ring apron as Moxley here, he is staggering back into the ring as he falls over the top rope, and Super Crazy is looking crazy good right now against a man like Moxley, but he did just have a chunk taken right out of his forehead as Mox went right back for the rib cage yet again with another kick. And what is he looking for here? He's got him up in the air and hits him with a nice standard suplex here, and he goes for the cover, but Super Crazy kicked out, and that didn't matter much as Moxley, he just wanted him to exert energy as he gets him right into a headlock right now. And well, now he's picking him up and he just drops an elbow right on the back of the head and neck area of Super Crazy. And well, now what is Moxley looking to do here as he delivers another elbow, but Super Crazy does not go down, and well, he bounces him off of one set of ropes and delivers a beautiful lariat, taking him down in the middle of the ring. And well, Super Crazy made his way over to the corner, and he did deliver a kick reversal to take Moxley off his feet, and now he's got him in a little arm drag tie up, and he had him up in for a cover, but it did not get him the win as Jon Moxley delivers a beautiful elbow strike, taking Super Crazy down. And well, what is Jon Moxley looking to do here as he delivers a beautiful back suplex, taking Super Crazy back off his feet? But Super Crazy, he won't stay down for too long as an X-Plex has been delivered to Super Crazy. He went in for the cover, but Super Crazy kicks out. And while Moxley going right back on the head and neck game as he's got him in another front choke, or a headlock you could say, as what is Moxley looking to do here as he's got it wrenched in a little bit deeper. He might be trying to get him to go to sleep as he rolls him through, and you can see the pressure is starting to build up on the neck area now as well. Moxley, he decides to stop the headlock and start delivering elbows right into the collarbone and neck area of Super Crazy, just working down the neck as much as he can. In this early stage of the match, I guess you could say, is we haven't been here all that long, and Moxley has had the full-fledged advantage here against Super Crazy as he goes in for a cover, and Super Crazy kicks out. At the end of the day, Moxley might be a dangerous man, but is he super? Is he crazy? Is he super crazy? I don't know about that. But he is beating the ever-living hell out of Super Crazy. As what is he going for here after rolling through on that sleeper slam? Super Crazy gets out of that suplex type maneuver and he turns him inside out for a tornado DDT, and that was hit with a beautiful precision, dropping Moxley right on his head, as well Super Crazy goes in for one moonsault, and he's already looking to hit the second moonsault. We might be seeing a trifecta of moonsaults from every version of the top rope, but Moxley was able to get out of the way. But that doesn't matter, as Super Crazy goes for a moonsault that I've only ever seen a few names hit. Whether you go from like back in the early 2000s to the modern day, that moonsault is a thing of beauty, and especially when hit to the outside. And while Super Crazy makes his way back in, and now Moxley follows suit. But what is Super Crazy looking for here as he lifts him up, and he almost had him in for a Tiger Powerbomb, but Moxley lifts him up and he spins him around for a Death Rider. And will Moxley get the count here? And he does. He got the pinfall victory as we get set for the second match of the night. So all I can say is stay tuned for some more hard-hitting and exciting action for you. Well, after a great opening match for GSW Shotgun, Shawn Michaels is out here to make a few announcements about tonight's show. Well, what a great announcement from HBK as we get our first look into that 8-man tournament here tonight with Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit. But, first things first, we gotta get into this singles match between the Japanese buzzsaw Tajiri, and he goes one-on-one with the Daredevil himself in Darby Allin. And while I am pretty damn excited to get into this matchup, let's just be quite fair, as Darby Allin, he is someone who it's hard to keep your eyes off of him, as if you do, you could blink for a second and next thing you know, he's going through a pane of glass. You never know with that man. But of course, with Tajiri as well, he's got such a prominent career. And well, speaking of a prominent career, this matchup is starting off really hot and could be a top highlight for Tajiri, let alone for Darby Allin, as it starts off with a little bit of dodging and all that. And now Darby is going in for a stinger splash, gets him into the middle, and well, Tajiri reverses that with a spinning kick to the gut. And now Tajiri has Darby up, and he just sends him flying into that top rope, hanging him up on that top rope, and he went in for a pin, but Darby does not give in. And while Tajiri, he is continuing with the hard offense, as he just chopped the shit out of Darby Allin's chest and kicked him right in the spine, and now holding him up into the ropes, playing a little dirty as the referee is counting him back and gets him back. And while as he went to go in on Darby, Darby kicked him in the face and he rolls through, and while Tajiri stopped the momentum there and went for a leg drop, but it had no landing for him as he just fell straight into the mat. And well, now that he's back to his feet, Darby Allin was feeding him some elbows and sends him in from the one corner, but Tajiri reversed that Irish whip attempt and just sent him flying into the other set of turnbuckles on the other side of the ring. And now Tajiri has Darby back up to his feet, but Darby hit him with a jawbreaker just to be able to escape whatever was coming next from the Japanese buzzsaw as he caught him midair and goes for a stomp. But Darby gets out of the way and kicks Tajiri straight in the face. And sad to say, Tajiri probably did not like that kick coming from a man who's not really known for him. And well, he just dropped him on his head for his troubles there with a tombstone pile driver after catching him in that moonsault. He did go for the cover as well, but Darby, he kicked out, and well, now Tajiri, it looks like he's going for a power bomb. And well, this power bomb, he held it up for a little bit and just slammed him straight into the mat, turning Darby inside out. And now he's looking to pick Darby up, possibly for a brain buster. But Tajiri is holding him up there a little too long, and Darby found a way out of it with that stun dog millionaire. And it didn't even take Tajiri right off of his feet right away, but Tajiri, being stunned enough, has felt it and is still writhing in pain from it, but he gets up to try to stop Darby Allin from hitting a coffin drop. And Juice Robinson, he just may have cost Darby Allin this match as Tajiri, he just hit the green mist into the eyes of Darby Allin and picks him up and drops him straight on his neck with that brain buster. And that is all for Darby Allin, as with the help of Juice Robinson, Tajiri is your winner. Well, as we get ready for this third matchup, GSW Management is letting me know in my earpiece right at the moment that next episode of GSW Shotgun, we have Brody King versus Santana in the building for you guys, but we've got something a little bit more exciting, personally in my opinion, as we have, as Big E called it one time, two big meaty men slapping meat. And well, these two big powerhouses are not going to disappoint you here tonight, as we've got Samoa Joe, we've got Keith Lee, and they're going head to head, toe to toe. And well, Samoa Joe just tried to take Keith Lee off his feet and it didn't work. And Keith Lee, he just tried to do the same, and he could not take Samoa Joe down. And Samoa Joe now feeding him a couple of strikes as he just hit him with a slap and an elbow across the face. And now Keith Lee just hit him with a clothesline, and nothing is taking these two men off of their feet, but they are trying as hard as they can. They are not giving an ounce of will and at all. As if you think about it, they are going as hard as they can with every strike they give, as Samoa Joe just blocked that last chop of Keith Lee and hit him with a jumping enziguri. And now we're playing a little bit of leapfrog as Keith Lee was caught in midair. Will Samoa Joe be able to still hit this maneuver despite Keith Lee trying to get out of it, and he is not capable enough? But Keith Lee, he was able to get out of it, and now we are going back to the rope sequence as Keith Lee just drop kicks Samoa Joe onto the apron. Samoa Joe not falling straight out to the floor, which is probably a good thing for him. But now Keith Lee is trying to power Samoa Joe back into the ring for a suplex. And Samoa Joe gets out of it as Samoa Joe bounces off the ropes and hits him with a big boot. But Keith Lee not going down, grabs him by his throat, and he was looking for something, and he powers him into the corner and slaps his chest down with those beautiful double-handed chops. And now Keith Lee picking him up for what appears to be a suplex, and he hit that suplex with every bit of intensity, but Samoa Joe still managed to kick out. And while Keith Lee goes running and tries to take him off the ropes, and while Samoa Joe is just blocking every attempt on that Irish whip, slapped the arm away and slapped him straight in the chin and turned him inside out with that lariat, giving that man a good old bop it twist, I guess you could say, as he scoops and slams him, runs in for that senton. He's got him in for the pin, but Keith Lee kicks out. And well, now that they're both back up to their feet, Samoa Joe, he's hitting a combo of chops and punches straight to that chin. And after feeding Keith Lee all those punches and chops, he sends him into the ropes and he rebounds into an elbow, but Keith Lee did not go off his feet. And in fact, now Samoa Joe sends him over into the other corner, and Keith Lee just bounces off of that and lands straight on his ass. And well, now Samoa Joe picking him back up, and he snapmares him over his shoulder, and he stands up to deliver a nice kick straight to the shoulder blade of Keith Lee here. As well, Keith Lee, he's staggering to get up to his feet, and Samoa Joe, he comes flying in, and he bounces off of that turnbuckle, but Keith Lee dodged it and hit him with a pounce, sending him flying into the air. But it kind of took Keith Lee off his feet too. But that doesn't necessarily matter, as Keith Lee was up to his feet first. But Samoa Joe tried to take him out, but Keith Lee hit him with a beautiful Hurricane Rana, and now potentially looking for the Spirit Bomb. But Samoa Joe reverses it, and what is he looking for here? His very own Power Bomb. And he took him straight off his feet and is now trying to put the Limitless One to sleep. And will Samoa Joe be able to do that, as it kind of seems like Keith Lee is fading here. But Keith Lee gets him up to his feet, and he's switching the positioning here as he just lifts him up onto his shoulders and drives him down with the Big Bang Catastrophe. But it kind of took him both out, as Keith Lee had to power him up and hit him with the Spirit Bomb after, but he secured the W here for himself on this episode of Shotgun. Well, if you guys are enjoying the show so far, why not take the time and give my boy Grand State Wrestling your subscription? And you know, while you're at it, if you guys want to, feel free to hop over to my channel as well and give me a subscription too. But you know what, before we talk too much, let's get back into this episode of Shotgun, as I am excited to get into this main event. We've got the Olympic gold medalist, the wrestling machine, Kurt Angle, here going one-on-one with the Canadian Crippler. He is the Rabid Wolverine. He is Chris Benoit. And I will say it like this, you know, I never envisioned that I would be calling a match of this magnitude. And well, you can envision why. But there is no doubt here tonight that if you had to go head to head with either one of these men? Would you survive? And that is kind of the name of the game right now, as these two men fight for an opportunity at that TV championship, an 8-man tournament, and they are showing out right now. And realistically, Kurt Angle could be the potential favorite, at least for me, as they are giving us some really good graps here. Kurt Angle just flipping into a headlock takeover, but Chris Benoit reverses it and he goes for his own headlock, but Kurt Angle was able to make it back over towards those ropes, and he broke that up, and now we're getting back into some more grappling here. And well, all I can say is what a way to start off this 8-man tournament than having these two competitors fight for it here tonight. Two main event level athletes showing you guys why they are exactly in the main event here tonight, as Kurt Angle takes down Chris Benoit and tries to go in for an armbar, but Chris, he blocks it, and Kurt Angle, he almost got him into a pinfall scenario there, but he went after the ankle lock, but Chris Benoit reverses it and now has him in a headlock. But Kurt Angle was not giving that any merit of time, as he's trying to take the advantage here, but neither man wants to give the other one in. And even with the handshake attempted, Chris Benoit denies that. Maybe a little bit of skepticism. Maybe he thinks Kurt Angle will pull a heelish move, as he's got this headlock in control here, and I may have spoke too soon, but no, Chris Benoit, he keeps it in control, as Kurt Angle, he goes in for a head scissors, but Chris right back to that headlock. He is not giving in on that neck, something we all know. Kurt Angle has a history of neck issues, so aiming after that neck is a really good idea if you are the man who's going in with Kurt Angle, as he just rolled him up and he did not get the victory there, but he takes him right back down for that headlock takeover. And Chris, he is getting rebounded off the ropes as Kurt Angle pushes him off, but Chris Benoit takes him down with a shoulder tackle, and he's got him back into that headlock. But Kurt Angle may have raked the eyes of Chris, but it doesn't matter, as blind or not, Chris Benoit hit that beautiful German suplex and follows it up with a lariat. And well, Kurt Angle tried to come back, but he got kicked in the gut for his efforts, but he just sent Chris Benoit flying up in the air and straight on his back with that back body drop. And now Kurt Angle going right back into that ankle area, as he's got him in like a little knee bar here. But Chris is trying to break out of it right now, as he does, and he's got him into a sleeper hold. That sleeper hold did not last very long, as Kurt Angle kicks him in the lower back. And Kurt also followed that up with a kick to the stomach. And as Chris Benoit made it back to his feet, Kurt Angle threw him off the ropes and just caught him in with a nice belly to belly. And well, that belly to belly did not get him anywheres, but he does chase after Chris Benoit in the corner. And well, a little back and forth keeps Chris Benoit in that corner, as he just rebounds him into the other set of the corners and hits him with a nice, beautiful arm drag. And well, Kurt Angle getting him back up to his feet and punches him square in the face. And while Chris Benoit dodges the lariat, and well, now Kurt Angle is making him play leapfrog, and he's playing a little bit of leapfrog himself as he tries to roll after that ankle, but Chris Benoit dodges that and comes back with a nice lariat that just folds him like a towel on a nice Tuesday afternoon and a summer day. But speaking of that, Chris Benoit just came crashing after a diving headbutt was missed, as Kurt Angle hit that belly to belly and just went right in for the pin, but he did not get nothing there. Now what is Kurt Angle looking for as he just threw him over his head with I want to say that was a teardrop suplex. And he follows Chris Benoit to the outside of the ring and he pulls him up. He said something to him. I don't know what he said, but he just threw him into the wall over here nearby the entrance stage as Kurt Angle makes it back into the ring. And Chris Benoit, he is fighting to get back into the ring. And while he manages to do so, and while Kurt Angle just stomped on his neck, and he's attempting the Irish whip him, hopefully for the last time, as he needs to end Chris Benoit quick, as he nailed him with another belly to belly, but that's not getting him anywheres. Kurt Angle needs to hit something big, and it's almost like he heard me as he goes in for a moonsault, and that moonsault failed, but it would have been beautiful if Chris Benoit didn't get out of the way of that, as that was like a picture perfect moonsault. But Chris Benoit comes flying in with a diving headbutt from Brett's rope, and he comes in with a lariat, taking Kurt Angle off his feet. He hits him with another one, and while Kurt Angle is fighting to get into that corner, and he Irish whips him into the other set, and while he gets him in for a German, and he rolls through, and he's got him in that crippler cross face, and while Kurt Angle manages to power him through and almost hit him with an angle slam, but Chris, he reversed it, and while Chris, he's trying for a suplex, but the attempt is failing as Kurt Angle managed to get out of that, but that chop just sent him flying. And while speaking of flying, he almost went flying yet again with another German, but he tries to pick at that ankle one more time. And while both men are just not giving in as they both kick each other in the face there. And now they're back to their feet, and they're hitting each other like they're in a hockey fight, but it doesn't last very long as Kurt Angle rakes the eyes and slams him on the mat, but that doesn't keep Chris Benoit down for long, no. Instead, he hits a picture-perfect drop kick, and he now gets him up for that suplex attempt and hits him with a brainbuster, but Kurt Angle kicked out of the pinfall attempt that followed that brainbuster. And now, what is Chris Benoit going to be looking for here as he picks him up for a power bomb and just slams him right down? And while Kurt Angle fought over to get to the ropes, and while he is going to send Chris Benoit out to the apron as Chris Benoit held on just enough but got hung up on the ropes, and he's still hanging on for dear life as now Kurt Angle following him out there to the ring apron. He was attempting for a suplex there, but Chris Benoit reversed it, and now Chris Benoit was going for one, and Kurt Angle reversed it and hits a chop block, pops up off the ropes, and just hits him with a little single leg drop kick to the knee. Now what is Kurt gonna follow that up with, as he's got his leg up and he wrenches it in for a dragon screw leg whip? And well, he's trying for that ankle, but Chris made it to the rope, so he stomped on the shoulder of Chris Benoit. And well, now what is he looking for here, as he's got one arm locked and he's got the headlock locked in, and he just floats him over and goes in for a pinfall attempt. It does not get him the W though. As well, what is Kurt Angle looking for now? It don't matter as Chris Benoit reverses it, and he just feeds a stiff shot to the chin there, and he goes in for an Irish whip. He sends in Kurt Angle, but Kurt holds on. And well, whatever Chris Benoit attempted for there, Kurt Angle is following up on the aftermath, as he must have tweaked his knee. And while Kurt Angle really is showing no mercy to the Canadian crippler who just kicked out of that pinfall attempt there, as now Kurt Angle, what is he going for here? I don't even know. as Kurt Angle is on the top rope with Chris Benoit, but sitting on his shoulders, and Chris reversed it into a German suplex with the spider hold as he goes flying in from the top rope, which is why he held the spider hold, and he goes in for the pinfall, and he didn't get it, but he goes in for the Crippler's Crossface.